Alright, we are back with another game with Spectre. This time it's going to be a PvP. So in the bottom left we have... oh, okay. We have Heartland Hitman Spectre. And in the bottom right we have Barcode. Spectre, not a fan of the barcodes. I do have to say that having a barcode name, when you're a pro and you don't want your strat stolen, you don't want people to kind of get used to your playstyle, it makes sense. When you're just some guy on ladder that's diamond or platinum, there's a certain presumptuousness to it. But anyway, this is going to be a PvP, and definitely curious. I'm definitely curious to see what kind of openings we're going to see now that we have Heart of the Swarm out. The Mothership Core has changed things drastically, made a lot of openers much more safe. That Photon Overcharge. Not going to see any sorts of cheeses. Spectre scouting out. And Barcode is... well, he was scouting. That's odd. Alright, Barcode checked that base and missed it. This could actually be kind of entertaining, if he then thinks that Spectre is in the top right. By the way, an excellent series. If you've seen it, When Cheese Fails, there's something along these lines that happened some time ago with a Cannon Rush. If you're bored, YouTube it later. Anyway, super standard, one base from Spectre. Here's something interesting though. We have Spectre going for 1 gas, and we have Barcode going for 2 gas. So Barcode is definitely going to look to tech up quicker, whether it's DTs or Stargates. Remains to be seen. Spectre probably going to go for a more gateway heavy play with all those extra minerals. More Stalkers, more Zealots. Barcode can go more for the Sentries, or apparently he's smelling a DT rush. Alright, going for a Forge for the cannon. So, for detection, checking to make sure there's no ridiculousness going on in his own base. Not sure about the Forge, to be honest. Would not have been surprised by a Robo. You get the Observer, and you also get Immortals, which are kind of backup plan useful. Though I can certainly see the appeal of the Forge. The thing about PvP, and talked about this when we did the casting on last Saturday, it's less about the +1 upgrades and more about the tech path that you choose. The higher tech, like if you get Blink, if you get DTs, if you get Stargate units, that's way more important than getting the +1 attack or +1 armor off of a Forge. So this Forge is going to give him a cannon, which gives him detection and stops DTs, but it's not going to let him do any sort of pressure. And if it's not DTs, then this is not as useful as it could be. Alright, I'm going to have to get used to the colors, because I thought that was Barcode's probe, and I was waiting for that cannon to stop being useless. I think if Barcode actually sees this, he might just expand very quickly. I would not have been surprised to see him do that right off the bat as soon as he saw Forge. Because Forge is generally going to be more of a defensive play in PvP. And if Spectre is holding himself up, then that gives Barcode some room to expand. Oddly enough, not seeing a Mothership Core from either side. We talked briefly about Mothership Core with the Photon Overcharge really stops a lot of early aggression in PvP, which is basically what plagued it for most of Wings of Liberty. Do have some aggression though. We have 3 gates, 4 gates. Alright. Old school 4 gating from Barcode, but this is going to be driven off somewhat. But again, this cannon, not quite as useful against a 4-gate. If he had gone for the Robo and gotten an Observer and an Immortal, helps against so much more. This is going to get very scary very quickly. Cannon will scare him off, but I think he's going to go in for round 2 soon enough. Also going for a Stargate behind this. So that is where his gas is going, instead of a Robo. Also valid choice. A Phoenix basically negates 1 unit in a PvP fight. So it's -1 Stalker. Just lifts it up and basically guarantees the kill. Also can do some harass and some scouting later on. Neither side expanding, mostly because Barcode is 4-gating, and that's fairly all in. We'll see how far along that gets. Kind of a stalemate here. With this Sentry, he can force field that ramp, and Barcode is just not going to be able to do much damage. Do have a Mothership Core, though. Could snipe that Sentry. And that would be huge. No, misses it. So it is going to lose that gateway. Likely going to lose a few units. Phoenix pulling double duty with killing that Mothership Core. So he's going to need to force field at just the right time, and that right time is now. Okay, that was a slight heart attack. We're good. Everything is just fine. And gets a few Stalker kills. Not bad. Is finally going to turn around. Curious to see what he's going to follow this up with. Spectre's having none of that. He is out of blood now. Barcode is going to expand behind this. I think that's risky at this point. But the counter push is not coming. And he might expand himself, and we might actually stabilize into a relatively normal game. Spots that pylon. Eventually we'll want to take that out. And this is why Phoenix are fantastic in PvP. They're great for negating units, especially Immortals, though in this case, not quite as much. Takes out a Stalker, loses Phoenix, but he's getting all this beautiful scouting information. He's seeing, alright, you've got that extra base. I know you're going to play a little bit more defensive for at least a bit. Sees that there's no crazy DT tech on the way. Also want to say I'm kind of surprised to see a 4-gate off 2 gas. Usually you'll see it off 1 gas, but that would explain the very high Stalker count. Alright, both players now expanding. Barcode actually a little bit ahead on the expansion, but behind on the work account. Just slightly on both accounts. Again, these Phoenixes aren't really looking to do that much damage. If they pick up a probe, great, but mostly they're just looking for, what is your tech? What do I have to worry about coming at me? Meanwhile, is building up his Void Rays. Void Rays in PvP are kind of like the Mutalisk in ZVZ right now. They're just so good against everything else that Protoss has. Just Mass Void Ray it's not just for Bronze League anymore. And not just for team games. It is the real deal. So if Barcode is actually unaware of this, he's going to be in a world of pain very quickly. And Void Rays are... The only thing that can really kill Void Rays is Stalkers and... Well, that's about it. But it's Stalkers. So, or other area units, obviously. But Stalkers just melt the Void Rays that have their prismatic alignment activated. That many will certainly take care of that, but when you hit that critical mass, you're going to need something else to handle that. And with the openings that both players had, Spectre started with the Stargate, and Barco started with the 4-gate, so Spectre has a huge tech lead. So while Barcode expanded about the same time, he is behind on actually having anything beyond gateway units. He knows the Stargate play is coming, so he's getting Blink, which is definitely a good decision. He's going to need more than that in the long run. PvP is all about the tech battles. Once you get past the initial one base, let's try and kill each other. Back home, I'm actually very happy to see that Spectre is also building up a ground army. Not doing what I do and just going, air! Alright, I'm dead to everything else. So it looks like constant Void Ray production. Almost constant. A little supply block there, but... he keeps trying to poke in here, which... it's keeping Barcode at home, allowing him to build up, and he's doing a little bit of damage here and there. So I guess there's not really any reason for him not to do this. I'm just a little bit worried for him. And we have 2 Stargates coming from Barcode. Alright, so Barcode is going to attempt to catch up on the Void Ray count. And like Mulus and ZVZ, once you're behind on the X unit that's overpowered, it can be very difficult to actually try and catch up. But, oh yeah, you can see those Stalkers just melt away. Almost lost a Void Ray. 2 hit points. Just barely gets away. Also, Spectre's going to have... he has 2 Void Rays building at a time now. And he also has air upgrades, which is going to give him a very nice advantage. Void Rays attack twice a second now. Which, to put that in perspective, a Marine attacks every 0.86 seconds. Void Ray, 0.5. So, an extra +1 damage is all the more useful. Alright, Barcode has his Stargates finished, but he can't really produce out of them yet. Also expanding all the way to the top right here. Alright, Spectre, the master of ninja expansions, is now up against one. Speaking of, though this isn't really... well, I am actually kind of curious why this expansion over this one. I assume partly because he's Spectre and he expands where he pleases, but... it is a little bit further out. So the thing is, Spectre actually doesn't know what kind of tech Barcode is going for at this point. He sees the Stalkers, and you can see that they have +1. But he does not know about these Stargates, and he might just start pooling Void Rays, which he sort of is. Alright, this base is now up and running and mining. That could get dangerous in the long run. Now back home. Sizable force for Spectre. Tempest coming out now. And this is really going to start putting a timer on Barcode. Just that immense range is going to allow those Tempests to attack from far away. About time he got Blink. He actually got Blink quite a while ago. He just hasn't really used it. I don't know if he was trying to hide it, or if he was just kind of forgetting that he had it, or didn't think he really had a good position to use it. These Tempests are basically going to force the engagement, which is what they're designed to do, and what they're pretty awesome at. So the question is, does Barcode have enough Void Rays up and running to actually stop this? That gas, by the way, is super important, because that is the limiting factor in a lot of Protoss units, especially heavy Stargate play. Needs all that gas. But he's going to get gas from up here now, which is equally huge. These Tempests are kind of playing with fire. Alright, it should be okay, as long as this Void Ray count from Barcode doesn't get overwhelming, which right now it is not. Oh, and +2 attack for Spectre now. +1 air attack coming down for Barcode. So again, he's playing catch-up, which is not a position you ever want to be in. But it's better than just getting left in the dust completely. And I don't think either player knows about the other's sort of hidden expansion. No, they do not. Tempest firing away still, chipping away. He needs to get more Void Rays out, and he knows that. Also supply blocks, I believe some pylons went down. Just an endless barrage. Carriers coming out. Don't see that very often in PvP. Okay, that Phoenix went in. That could have been a scout, and I think that was a good move if it was on purpose. Just because he needs to see, you know, why are you waiting? What kind of force are you building up? Do I need to get out of here? Because these Tempests are so slow. Now that they're off in this corner, they could be in a lot of trouble. Especially with the very slow to build carriers. All that time, we have Void Rays coming out for Barcode, and if that Void Ray count gets big enough, you can actually take out this little force, and that would be a huge, huge investment lost. Those Tempests are just not getting away from anything. Another expansion up here, but likewise for Barcode. And again, neither side is aware of the others. Again, the importance of scouting. Send a probe, patrol it around. Send a drone, send the circling, send an SCV. Scouting is the theme of the night, apparently. Does see those Stargates. And that is 11 Void Rays against not 11 Void Rays. Also slightly damaged. But we do have some carriers coming out. And this could be very interesting. Tempests are fantastic against carriers, but obviously Barcode has none. All Void Rays all the time, which are also, to be fair, pretty good against carriers, as long as they can get close. Also, 3 carriers at a time now, as well as +3 air attack, which is nearly finished. Some Zealots have found this base up here. Spectre's ground army not moving for it. And Barcode has actually given up that base in the bottom right. Which must be making Spectre paranoid. Wondering, where is your army? What is your army doing? When is this big attack going to come? But it's actually not. It's just going to be relocating to here, and I assume we're going to see some Stargate. Oh. Alright, yes. When I said some Stargates, I didn't expect 3, but alright. So rebuilding his infrastructure up here, taking out this base, and Sky Toss is pretty good, but when both players are actually just about maxed out, it's really going to come down to positioning and the actual engagement. This base taken out. Spectre's army not... go. Charge. No? Okay. This base now in trouble. Lots of cannons up. Lots of cannons up. But that is an Artosis pylon for the ages. Will that actually shut down all of them? Yes, it... Oh! Artosis would be proud. Alright, so he's killed both Nexuses. Which means that... no, excuse me. He has not. He's about to kill both Nexuses. There we go. So at this point, he has to start wondering, why aren't you being revealed? You have another Nexus somewhere. Where is that extra base? This base now going down with... this is getting scary. +2 attack on the Stalkers. That carrier is not going to stand a chance. But Spectre has been keeping back this ground army. Does have +1 attack and +1 shields, but +3 air attack. He's going to go for a base race instead of engaging this army directly. He knows that if you're not all the way on the left side of the map, which I've already taken, you must be up here. Indeed, he does find it. probes valiantly trying to mine. This base is just going to be torn to shreds, and he might actually... Oh, but the army's coming back, so we're going to see the final engagement very shortly. Oh, there's Tempest out of position. Could get blinked right up on. And they do. Focus firing down each Tempest. Oh. Shot down all the Void Rays. He should just go in and go guns blazing. Get those Stalkers in there. He needs to... Oh, he's also... Oh! Spectre's prismatic alignment just ran out. This is just... What is going on? Alright, looks like the Void Ray count for Barcode is just too much. And he is going to take out that entire air army of Spectres. That hurts quite a bit. One carrier late to the party. Hey guys, oh. Did not work out. He's building 3 Void Rays at a time back. Oh, and back home though. While he did lose that army, he has not lost the war. Or so the saying is paraphrased. Alright, retaking his... I suppose you could call it the natural third. Main is mined out. Natural still surprisingly has resources. Certainly a good surprise for him. This army looking pretty scary. But it has been whittled down quite a bit. It's not quite the massive, enormous wave of Stalkers. Also, Spectre has a bit of a bank setup, which could go into just massing out a ton of Stalkers, or Zealots, or just something to give a little more bulk to his army, soak up more shots, and... Those +3 attack carriers. Oh, coming in with the flank. Beautiful flank, and that's actually going to give him exactly what he needed. Everything just melting away to the Void Arrays and carriers. Those Stalkers did not have a chance. And now Barcode is broke, building 2 Void Arrays at a time. 82 supply against the 133 of Spectre. Looks like he might have this. Also, I do like how every game of Spectres that I've casted so far, somebody ends up in a base they didn't start up. Started down here, now he's up here. Though, for once, it's not actually Spectre doing that. Spectre has stayed to his roots, and actually stayed in the bottom left. Very proud of you. Still that +3 attack, getting a +2 armor. That is +2. I can recognize the colors. Go me. Looks like he's moving out. Probably going to do a lot of damage. Does Spectre have Blink? That is a question. Does Spectre have Stalkers? Yes, he does. Okay. Oh, this new UI does not. Okay, I don't know if he has Blink or not. Oh wait, I can do upgrades. No, he does not have Blink. Okay. Actually, a significant bit of disadvantage in that. Blink versus no Blink. Barcode can retreat and jump in to snipe things. Whereas Spectre has to be a little bit more sure of what he's getting himself into. There we go. Barcode with his own carriers to the last second, but too many Void Rays. Far too many Void Rays. And that is going to be the GG. Great game, Spectre. Another all over the place, all over the map. Things dying all over the place. Again, though, scouting. Scouting, scouting, scouting. That is the name of the game tonight. Check those bases. Use something cheap and quick. Barcode even expanding all the way over here. Alright. Hope everyone enjoyed the cast. I'm going to stop the local recording in 3, 2, 1, bye.